Greetings of the day, dear scholars. Today we shall discuss the famous sonnet, "The World is Too Much with Us," written by the great nature poet William Wordsworth. Let's see the text of the sonnet. The world is too much with us. Late and soon, getting and spending, we lay waste our powers. Little we see in nature that is ours. We have given our hearts away, a sordid boon. This sea that bears her bosom to the moon, the winds that will be howling at all hours and are upgathered now like sleeping flowers. For this, for everything, we are out of tune. It moves us not. Great God, I'd rather be a pagan, suckled in a creed outworn. So might I, standing on this pleasant lea, have glimpses that would make me less forlorn, have sight of Proteus rising from the sea, or hear old Triton blow his wreathed horn. This is one of the most famous sonnets by William Wordsworth. He wrote it when he was 32 years old in 1802. This sonnet was published in 1807. It was a response to the end of the cottage industry and the pastoral way of life, which had been taken over by mass production and factory work. It was the impact of industrial revolution on society. The problem was that people were no longer in touch with nature. The industrial revolution was at hand, industry was flourishing, and the poet, who has always been very sensitive towards nature, became increasingly distressed. He says, the world is too much with us. World here stands for materialism. He symbolically says that the world is too much with us, that is, now materialism is taking over, and late and soon, getting and spending, we lay waste our powers. Late and soon, by and by, each one of us is getting included, getting affected by materialism, industrial revolution, or the run for money. He says, late and soon, getting and spending. Getting and spending. The world of debit and credit has taken over. And in this rat race, we lay waste our powers. We are wasting our powers, our divine powers, our celestial powers. We are wasting them to earn money, to run after currency. And The result is little we see in nature that is ours. As we start focusing on materialism, we lose sight of nature. We lose the fascination for nature. Little we see in nature that is ours. The belongingness, the gifts of nature are by and by fading away from our memory and our very temperament. We have given our hearts away. We have given our hearts away. That is, now our preferences, our options are changing. We have given our hearts away to the material world. And this is a sordid boon. This is a very negative option that we are taking. Keeping in view, we are actually bargaining on the wrong side. Where we should be opting for nature, we are now opting for the material world. This sea that bears her bosom to the moon. He says, the sea which is so beautiful and which bears its bosom to the moon. This line brings the reader into interaction with nature itself. The feminine approach as the poem progresses, the bare bosom, the moon, the sleeping flower, symbols of mother and emotions. In these lines, William Wordsworth is looking out over the water at a time of calm, thinking of the ceaseless wind and how we are no more connected, no more in harmony with nature. He says, this sea that bears her bosom to the moon, we cannot see the beauty of this sea. The winds that will be howling at all hours. The howling winds have their own beauty, harmony, rhythm, music. The winds that will be howling at all hours and are upgathered now like sleeping flowers. He tries to draw our attention to the mystic temperament of nature, that the howling winds are so calm that they can be upgathered like sleeping flowers. And had we been in touch with nature, we would have paid attention to these two dimensions of the wind. On one hand, so cool, like sleeping flowers. On the other hand, howling. But since we are out of tune for nature, we have ceased to observe these dimensions. For this, for everything, we are out of tune. For this, for everything, we are out of tune. We have actually lost the tendency to judge or observe these beautiful things about nature. It moves us not. These things have stopped affecting us. Great God. Wordsworth is addressing God desperately. Great God, I'd rather be a pagan suckled in a creed outworn. He says it would have been better for me to be a pagan who would be suckled, who would have been brought up in a creed outworn. So might I, standing on this pleasant lea, standing on the hillside, had I been a pagan, I would have stood on the hillside, have glimpses that would make me less forlorn. I could have seen those aspects of nature, those scenes of nature, which would have made me feel less lonely. The writer wishes to see a return to the old times when people were in tune with land and nature. He says, have sight of Proteus rising from the sea. I wish I could stand by the hillside. I could stand on a landscape and see Proteus. Proteus is from Greek mythology, the old man of the sea. Takes different shapes and can be forced to predict the future. He says, I would like to have a glimpse of Proteus or hear old Triton blow his wreathed horn. He talks about Triton. Triton is the son of Neptune, the sea god, and has influence to calm the seas with his conch shell horn. Wordsworth says, I would like to have a glimpse of Proteus and Triton. Like Blake, his concern was for nature, for future, to save man from the doom that he is heading towards. Because the more we lose sight of nature, the more we are causing ourselves harm. So his appeal, his desperate cry for saving mankind is clearly pronounced in the sonnet. The important words for students to take care of are the world. Here stands for materialism. Is too much with us, is now a dominant part of our preferences, our choices. We lay waste our powers. We are wasting our energy on worthless choices and preferences. Little we see in nature that is ours. We have lost the sense of appreciation for nature. A sordid boon, an unprofitable deal. Bosom, chest, howling, loud and glaring, out of tune, have no sense of. Pagan, one who seeks pleasure and worships natural resources. Suckled, nurtured, fed. Creed, doctrine, belief. Outworn, out of date. Pleasant, agreeable. Lea, meadow or grassland. Glimpses, sights. Forlorn, lonely. Proteus is a Greek god. Triton is the sea god. Wreathed is garlanded. So, William Wordsworth's call for nature and his clearly pointing out what is the reason that we are running away from nature are very clearly specified in the poem. We are getting away from nature because the world is too much with us. Materialism has overtaken our instinct for nature as a rich resource of our livelihood and of our very sustenance. Thank you.